Hey guys, it's me. Welcome back to the channel. Today we've re-gone nah, be talking about something that has gone nah, makes some people uncomfortable, and that is motivation. This book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Oslin talks about how discipline beats motivation. And in this video, gone nah, break down what he means by that. He opens the book with a story of two men who are running every day. One man runs for 10 minutes and then stops. The other man runs until his legs collapse underneath him from exhaustion. So why does one man stop after 10 minutes, and why can the other man run endlessly? Well, the answer is simple. The first man only ran because he felt like it. He did it when his motivation was high. Whereas the second man, he didn't just run when he felt like it. He ran rain or shine. He would show up to the track day after day after day, no matter how he felt. And eventually, over time, his body got used to the motion. It became the norm, and his body started to adapt. His body adapted in such a way that it actually started to crave the movement. When we do things over and over again, our brains start to get used to it. If you eat junk food every single day, your brain gets used to having that sugar rush, and it starts craving that sugar. If you go to sleep late every night, your brain gets used to being up late, and it craves that stimulation. But if you exercise regularly, even if you don't feel like it, your brain will get used to that too, and it will start craving exercise. So this is the main message of the book. It might not feel like doing something, but if you do it long enough, eventually you won't have to convince yourself to do it. The action itself will become so ingrained into your routine that you won't even have to think about it. It will be completely natural. You know how sometimes you open your fridge and there's nothing healthy in there, and you end up grabbing the first bag of chips that you see? Why? Because your brain is craving that salty, fatty, sugary snack, and this is the power of habit. And also, this relates directly to the law of 20/20ths, which says that 80% of effects comes from 20% of causes. In this case, if you want to accomplish 80% of your goals, it's going to come from just 20% of your actions. Those 20% of actions are the ones that you need to be intentional about. They are the ones that you need to focus on making habits. If you want to learn how to make money online, you probably came across a ton of different courses and gurus telling you exactly what you need to do. They say go start a YouTube channel, go start an e-commerce store, go create a course. But in reality, the truth is that all of those are great options. Any one of them can be the path for you to success. But the problem is not knowing which one to pick. Just take a look at someone who wants to become a YouTuber. They might watch a few YouTube videos about how to edit, and they watch a few more about how to grow. Then they spend months planning out their entire YouTube channel. They buy themselves a really expensive microphone and camera equipment. They design an entire logo and branding package. But when it comes down to actually sitting in front of the camera and recording, they completely forget everything that they learned. Or let's take someone who wants to start an e-commerce business. They spend all of their time finding the perfect product to sell and spend thousands of dollars ordering samples and getting ready to launch. But when it comes down to actually running ads, which is the most important part of the business, they struggle to get sales. Why does this happen? It happens because they spent all of their time focusing on the easy parts of the process and never the hard parts. All of these tasks are easy to do. There is very little friction involved in them, and that's why we love doing them. But the truth is that the easiest thing to do is usually not the best thing to do. In order to make money online, you have to put in work. You have to show up and do the work consistently. And that's why the majority of people don't make money online. They just watch course after course trying to find the secret sauce, but they never put in the work. That's where most people go wrong. They never focus on the right 20% of actions. So this brings us back to the original question, which is what is the right thing to do? What is the path to success? Well, the answer is simple. You just have to experiment. The only way you're going to figure out what works for you is by experimenting. You might not have a lot of money when you're starting out. So maybe you try creating a course and selling it on a free platform. Maybe you try starting a YouTube channel and you start posting every day. Maybe you try starting an e-commerce business and you try dropshipping. It's the best way to figure out what works for you is to try everything. But here's the catch. You have to be willing to fail. And this is the biggest problem that I see with new entrepreneurs. They want to succeed so bad that they're afraid to fail. They're afraid to put in the work. They're afraid to put themselves out there, and that's why they fail. But if you truly want to succeed, you have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be willing to fail. So now I am gone. Nah, tell you the exact steps that you need to take in order to get what you want out of life. These are the steps that I take every single day, and they based off of the lessons that I learned from books like The Slight Edge. Step No. 1 is decide what you want. If you want something that you've never had before, you have to be willing to do things that you've never done before. You'll never be successful if you always do the same things. For example, if you want to lose weight, you have to be willing to change your diet. You want to build muscle, you have to be willing to lift weights. If you want to make money online, you have to be willing to show up and work every single day. Step number 2 is write down exactly what you're going to do to achieve that goal. Don't just write something vague like I'm going to exercise more or I'm going to eat healthier. For example, if you want to lose weight, write down exactly what you're going to eat every single day. Write down the calorie count, the macros, everything. If you want to make money online, write down the exact steps that you're going to take. Write down the keywords that you're going to rank for.